Hey traders, and welcome to this week's weekly watch list. So let's start by going over the overall market as a whole to see where the market is sitting at before we're actually getting into the plays that I'm looking at for this upcoming week. So first off, we'll look at the ES futures here. They are up about 10 points today, or 0.22%. If we look at the structure here, it's holding that 8 EMA very nicely, and it has for these last few weeks. You can see we had this squeeze fire. We pushed up to about +2 ATR, fell back down to that 8 EMA and bounced very nicely off of it. And I'm actually looking for that exact same thing to happen here. So we had kind of a consolidation, had a rejection once again off that 8 EMA, and now we're getting that other rejection here today off of that 8 EMA on these futures as well. So I think that we could see a nice continuation here on the market overall. It's just kind of what I'm seeing. Doesn't mean it has to happen, but that's what I am looking at as of now. So the ES is still very bullish in my opinion, and I think that it can keep just trucking along. Going on to the Qs now. This one's kind of the similar story as well. We had the squeeze fire, went up to +2 ATR, reverted back to the 8 EMA, pushed once again, got rejected off that +3 ATR region, had to consolidate for some time, and I think now we make another push back up to that +3 ATR on this one. So I think this one, with all tech stocks, can see another continuation to the upside. The one I actually kind of like the most right now, because it's not that extended compared to the ES and the Qs, is the Dow. So as I've said before, we've been holding that 21 and bouncing off of it very nicely. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, and now today as well. So 5 times that it goes down, touches it, bounces off of it perfectly. We're also getting this daily squeeze with some bullish momentum coming into it. So I think that this one's been lagging behind a little bit compared to the other indices, and we should see this one start to make that push if we can get the squeeze to continue to start firing to that upside. So I do like the Dow a lot here, and we'll be looking at plays this week to see if we can catch any moves coming out of it. The last one I'm going to look at here is the Russell, and as I've said before, we had the daily squeeze fire here. We've got this great push. We have our support down here, and then we have our resistance line up here. I still think we can make that push into 2350. I do think that it had its nice little cooling period here where it went down, reset it at this 8 EMA, has bounced off of it now, and I think it's waiting to just make that push back up into that level that I'm looking for it to have it pushed up into. But I also like this one a lot because of its weekly squeeze. Its weekly squeeze looks really good. We're starting to almost get these light blue bars on that weekly squeeze. So this one I think could be a very good one in the upcoming months. Now looking at actually a few plays that I really like coming into this week, we will start off with, and I've already said before in a few other videos, is AMD. So the semiconductors have a very strong sector right now, and the best setup within that sector, in my opinion, is AMD. We have the daily squeeze, getting our first light blue bar with some bullish momentum, holding nicely above that 21 EMA, and I think that it will just make a continuation if this market keeps continuing to go forward, which I do think it will, and I think we can easily push back up to, I'd say, at least 118 to 120. That's kind of where my price target is right now, and I think it can easily make that push due to the sector being so strong. The next one I'm looking at is Brookfield, or BAM. So this one has a great structure. We have our stacked DMAs. We're in acceleration mode. Came down to the 21, bounced off of it, got a nice push, came down to the 21, and has bounced off of it. Have a nice daily squeeze here. We're gaining some bullish momentum with the yellow colored histogram. Ideally want to see some light blue bars start to appear, and would need another pullback to at least that 8 EMA for an entry. So it is slightly extended, but I do still like this setup a lot, and we'll just look for a pullback within the week. If not to the 8 EMA, hopefully to the 21, because that's ideally where I always want to get my buys. So we will see if the week can present us with a buy on this one. The next one I'm looking at is Home Depot. So this one also has a nice daily squeeze setting up. Finally getting a few yellow histogram bars here, showing that we're gaining some bullish momentum. We've gotten a few closes now above that 21 EMA. We have our stacked EMAs, and I think that this one can definitely make a nice push in continuation up to the upside. We'll just need to have hopefully a fall back down to this level in order to get long. So we'll see where this week can take this one. The next one I like a lot is Square. So just like Home Depot, we get our two yellow bars now, which means we're gaining bullish momentum. We have our stacked DMAs, which we always like to see if we're going long, and we're trading right around that 21 EMA. So this one is definitely a good one to be looking at because this could potentially already be at a buy zone come tomorrow, and could get in this one early in the week to have it have that nice push if the market keeps continuing to push. Now the last one I'm looking at for the week is Walmart. So if we come back here and look at this daily squeeze, we can see that it consolidated, and we finally get this large push on Walmart. Walmart is usually a slower mover, so to get this large push, it means that the stock is moving incredibly strong here. I think it's just about time that it starts to reset and makes another push higher. So you get this large push up to +3 ATR. It needs to revert back down to that 21 EMA, and I hope it consolidates here for a second as we develop this squeeze here. We get our first actual red dot, so we're finally developing it, and I think that it can consolidate here for a little bit longer before it makes its next push higher, which I would like to obviously get into. So hopefully we can chop around this 21 EMA for a second as the squeeze develops and look for that next push higher. So this is the weekly watch list. Hopefully it gives you all a few other stocks to be looking at. You can add to your own watch list, and let's go out there and make it a great week, everyone.